If it's working properly, the IRS is supposed to make sure that everyone is paying their taxes, that people aren't evading paying their taxes by breaking the law and all of that. But unfortunately, for quite a while, it has not been working properly, and that is because it has been purposefully defunded over the course of a number of years. Well, now there is a bill that is going to attempt to fix that, and we are very lucky to be joined by the representative putting forward the bill. Representative Khanna joins us once again. Representative Khanna, thank you for being here.
I'm great to always be on.
Thank you. So tell us a little bit about your legislation.
Well, it's very simple. Right now, the IRS actually audits someone making $25,000 in Mississippi, in Delta, Mississippi, more than they audit people who are making millions on Park Avenue. That is wrong. What our bill does is it beefs up the IRS's auditing department, and it says you need to audit the top 1% and the big corporations, many of whom who are simply evading tax, not avoiding it, evading it by not properly disclosing all of their income. And the study showed that this would raise $1.2 trillion over 10 years. This isn't some liberal economist. This is Larry Summers and Natasha Sarin saying, just collect the tax, you can raise $1.2 trillion.
And the $1.2 trillion, that's effectively getting the corporations and some individuals to pay the taxes that they've legally been owing for a long period of time. They're just not paying, correct?
Exactly. I mean, it's the way they do it is they have business income and they don't show the business income, and the IRS, because they don't audit them, never gets at this business income. So this isn't some clever lawyer scheme of finding some loopholes. This is just simply lying on your taxes. It'd be as if you made 75,000 and you put down on the IRS that you made 60,000. Now, most people, they have a W-2. As a congressman, you get a W-2, and so it's hard to do. But if you have a lot of assets and if you have business activity, then there are ways that you can not pay all your taxes. And the only way to get after that really is an audit.
And as you pointed out, I mean, any random person who might be watching the show, they can potentially be audited. For the vast majority of people who are not bringing in millions or billions of dollars, this is unlikely to have much of an effect on them, I assume.
Right. I mean, it says that you have to do the audits on the top 1% because that's where a lot of the evasion is. And right now, the IRS spends more effort going after people who are getting the earned income tax credit and claiming two people are claiming the same child, and we're going after things like that instead of going where the revenue is. And the revenue is in the top 1% and the big corporations who are not disclosing their income. And this should be something that even Republicans are for. I mean, we can argue about the marginal tax rates, you can argue about the corporate tax rates, but who's for allowing some people not to play by the rules? I mean, it would be like saying, well, some people, you don't have to, you can foul in basketball and it doesn't matter. I mean, that's so contrary to the American ethos.
Well, I think it's interesting that you asked that question because perhaps if it goes up for vote, we might find out. Because look, what you're talking about is people who've been avoiding paying their due. This is what they're legally obligated to do, and it raises a lot of money without actually having to raise taxes, both of which are things that in theory everyone would support. But so far as you've been sort of pushing this forward in terms of the Republican caucus and also the Democrats, what has the reception been like? Are you seeing any Republicans who are interested in potentially co-sponsoring this or anything like that?
There's been some interest. We haven't gotten Republicans yet. I mean, the big thing they say is, oh, you're putting too much of a burden by auditing the 1%. Why are you singling them out? And I say, well, the data shows that they should be singled out because that's where a lot of the evasion is taking place. But that is the counter argument that are you empowering the IRS and the agency? But in my view, most Americans want people to play by the same rules.
And were this to come up for a vote, what is your feeling right now in the House and in the Senate? Let's assume that in the Senate you might not get some Republicans. Theoretically, you could, but if you wouldn't, is this something that you think at least all of the Democrats would be unified behind?
I do, but I think so much depends on the president, and that's why we're working on trying to get this into the president's agenda. The president is looking for easy ways to raise revenue. Look, I support Senator Warren's wealth tax. I think it's long overdue. That is a position that is going to be tough to get the whole caucus behind. This should be a no-brainer. I think this is such a low-hanging fruit. When I read Natasha Sarin and Larry Summers' paper, I couldn't believe that it would raise that much money. It seemed too good to be true. So this seems like such an easy thing for the Democrats to get behind.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.